by saying congratulations on the EP. It's an absolutely fantastic EP.
Oh, cheers, thanks.
Well, I guess to start off with, tell us a little bit about the band because you guys are fairly new, but you've all got great backgrounds from other bands. So tell us a little bit about how you all came together and a little bit about the brand new band.
Yep. Yeah, so Pete, the lead guitarist, and myself, we were in a previous band together, a local band called In the Burial. And yeah, we decided that it was moving in a different direction for us, so we left and started writing music for Descend To Acheron. And yeah, so that was back in 2013, 2014.
Yep.
Yeah. So Pete and I wrote the entire EP, and then we just sort of, when it came to getting people to play on it, we just sort of, thought who would we really love to work with. We weren't even really thinking about it, in a live context at that point. Yeah, so the drummer that we, would love to work with was Dave Haley from Subculture, because, he's amazing. Yeah, so we just enlisted his services, and he flew out to Adelaide, and we spent a week just laying down drums and hanging out, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then asked a mate of ours who's an amazing bass player, and we both really admired, a guy called Matthew Phillips, or Matty P, as people who know him call him, and if he would do bass on the EP, and he said yes. He ended up joining after recording, which was awesome. And then after we had basically the EP recorded, it was a matter of finding musicians to play it live, which is the hard thing in Adelaide, because there's only, maybe 2 or 3 drummers in Adelaide that can play our stuff properly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, especially, you got some big shoes to fill when you get Dave Haley on your recording.
Definitely.
Yeah, which seemed like a great idea at the time, but then, in hindsight, it was a great idea. I love that we did it, but yeah, just like, having to find someone who could play stuff afterwards was really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we managed to snag Kieran from Meth Leopard and Power Chuck, and he was just as he was leaving Truth Corroded. So yeah, I happened to be in the right place at the right time, and asked him to join before the other 500 bands in Adelaide asked him to join.
Yeah.
So luckily we snagged him.
So,
And go.
yeah, I was going to say, so how did you guys go about creating your sounds? Because you have got such a unique kind of sound that you've managed to create in such a short time. How did you all go getting together and creating that sound?
Yeah, well, yeah, like I was saying, like Pete and I wrote the whole EP, just the two of us. He would sit down in front of Pro Tools, because I run a recording studio here in Adelaide. So, yeah, we just sat down in front of Pro Tools, let the click run, and he just jam riffs, and we would just build off of each other. Go, yeah, I like that part. Yeah, put that part after that part, and we would sort of write the riffs and arrange them as we were going, and record it at the same time, kind of thing. Yeah, then after Dave put his drums down, it was pretty much just me and Pete just finished the EP, except for the bass that Rich Matty did. So yeah, Kieran and Dave, the new guitarists, aren't actually on the EP at all. They joined afterwards. So yeah, it was pretty much just me and Pete that did the whole EP, I suppose, except for the bass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we are currently recording a new single at the moment, which is the first time we've kind of written as more of a band. So it's got a fairly different vibe again. The sound's kind of evolved again, which is really exciting. And having the input of another guitarist and the input of another drummer and stuff has been a great process. So yeah, the sound is definitely still evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bringing it back to the EP, what kind of things were inspiring you guys lyrically when you sat down to work on it?
For me personally, I'm inspired by the great skeptics and atheist minds of today. People like James Randi and Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, all those guys really inspire me. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff based on that kind of thing. There's like science-based stuff. It's not really your typical gore and horror. sort of thing.
Yeah.
There are definitely some anti-religious sentiments on there, but they're not general anti-religion things. They're more specific, based on specific people. Like From the Mouths of Wolves is Benny Hinn, the TV evangelist who robs innocent people out of their money for fun, that kind of thing. And Your Suffering is a Gift is specifically about Mother Teresa and how she got away with letting thousands of people die unnecessarily because she thought it got them closer to God.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But yeah, that's the only kind of religious kind of anti-religion kind of tones to it. Generally, it's I'm much more interested in science and what it is to be a human, as opposed to the usual stab, hack, / kill sort of stuff.
Yeah. And how has it been for you guys bringing the EP out while we're all in lockdown, because you can't get out and do shows or anything like that? So has that changed how you guys have gone about bringing the EP out as well?
Yeah, well, it wasn't ideal because, like I said, we started recording back in 2014. I think Dave Haley laid down his drum tracks in 2014, and so we were sitting on it for a fair while until we knew that we had the right members to play live the way that we wanted it to be. Like, because we didn't want to rush it. We wanted it to be right when we did it. So when we finally got the full lineup together, which took years, literally years, and we planned everything, had, the premiere for our first lyric video and our launch booked and all that kind of stuff, and some interstate shows booked, and then COVID hit. And then so after waiting for years for the right members and to be ready as a band, then COVID hit. So so we didn't get to play any of the shows, unfortunately. We've just been trying to do as much press and promo stuff as we can, and we enlisted the help of Daisy to help us get it out there. We've just signed with a label as well, which is awesome. They're going to be releasing, vinyl and CDs and all that kind of gear too. So, we're just trying to push it online as much as possible and trying to get it out there and talk to as many people as we can. And, hopefully when it all goes back to normal, we'll actually play some shows.
Yeah, and how can people grab a copy of the EP at the moment? Is there somewhere in particular you'd like them to go to get the EP?
Yeah, our Bandcamp has digital copies of the EP for sure, and we've got our first merch run as well, which is just finished pre-order, so those will be here very soon. So whatever it is, Bandcamp, Descend To Acheron, or whatever it is, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But so just the Bandcamp is the main spot, but soon it's on all the streaming sites as well, of course, streaming services, sorry. When it comes, I think December, the label is going to be releasing physical copies. So if people want a physical EP, either vinyl or CD, I think it's coming out in December. So pretty keen for that as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you signed with a label. Tell us a little bit about who you've signed with and how that's come about.
Yeah. So the label is a new sort of subsidiary of Hammerheart Records, which is quite a well-known Dutch label. They've got heaps of amazing bands and good reach and good distro and all that kind of stuff. So the sort of subsidiary is Petrichor. So they've just sort of started that up to sort of focus more on extreme bands. We're one of the earlier sort of signings to them. Our guitarist, Dave, who I'm also in a band with, a different band called Maniacal from Port Perry, kind of a bit more of a thrashy with a bit of death kind of vibe. So a bit more mid-paced, but awesome stuff. So he was talking to the guys from Hammerheart, and they said, we're starting up this, sub-label, if you guys are interested, and the rest is history, I suppose.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned as well that you've been working on a new single as well. Does that mean that we can expect new music from you guys in the not too distant future? And will you be heading for another EP or for an album this time?
Yeah, I think basically we're just doing a single to start off with, just to test the waters as far as working with this new lineup. Because, like I said, this is the first time that Pete and I have had the opportunity to work with other musos that are full-time members. So because even before Matty P joined and did the bass, we had already written the whole EP, and I'd already recorded almost all my vocals before he'd even laid down any bass. So, you know, we didn't really have a lot of input. So that's what we're just testing the waters as far as that at the moment, and it's coming along awesomely. It's going to be a big, epic track. So, yeah, once we've got that out, we'll probably release that around the time of the physical release, I suppose. You know, as like a little bit of a bonus for anyone who buys it or whatever. Yeah, and then, straight into an album. Yeah, we've got riffs, like Pete, our lead guitarist, has got just riffs for days. So, we'll be concentrating, like we're in pre-production to start demoing album tracks. Later on this week, he's coming back down, and we're going to be working on pre-pro for the album. So, yeah, as soon as the single's out, it'll be straight into album for sure.
Awesome. Well, mate, we cannot wait to hear new music from you guys, and hopefully once everything ends with the lockdown, we might be able to see you guys in Melbourne as well.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I would love to play full stop, but yeah, playing interstate would be amazing too. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, mate, thank you so much for chatting to us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and